Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Small Island Engineer. I am your Small Island Engineer. My name is Nate. If it's your first time joining us, welcome. Please feel free to hit that like and subscribe button if you like the content. And if you're a returning visitor, hey, great. I'm happy to have you guys back, right? In case you're a first-time visitor and you're not aware, my channel is all about ICT, where I discuss everything that happens in the world of ICT, really, information communication technology. So, we talk about technologies, we talk about equipment, we talk about business solutions, we talk about a number of things that just exist within this space and kind of help people within the space and people who might be considering to get in the space to actually get a foot in and to kind of feel grounded. So, today, I want to talk about a second in a series that I started in the last video. The series of the videos is really entitled Delivering an ICT Project. And the first topic that we spoke about was project management. So this time around, I want to talk about another topic within that series of videos, which is gonna be about engaging the customer and what to do when engaging the customer, what not to do, what to make sure that you consider and stuff like that, right? So without any further ado, let's get to it. All right, so first question to ask, why is it even important to consider how it is that you engage a customer? There are really a lot of reasons for that, but we're going to consider maybe just 3 very important reasons as to why this is necessary, right? First up, your customer is the most important part of any kind of business app or project or whatsoever. Because if you don't have a customer, then you have no business app, no project, right? So you definitely have to consider how you engage the customer going forward, how you secure this business for you or for your company or for, whatsoever. That's very important. Next, first impressions last. So you have to make sure that whatever impression this customer has of you at the onset and going forward is going to establish some kind of confidence that you are able to deliver in this customer's mind. Because if the customer is not confident that you can do the job, then you're very likely going to lose the job. And that's a no-win situation for you, right? So it's super important that your first impression with this customer is a good one. And next, your customer is really the best source of information for you. Like anything that you need to ask as to how to determine how you need to do something or what you need to do here or whatever the case may be, customer is the best source of information for that. So first thing, your customer is number one. Second reason, engaging your customer is going to ensure the delivery of your project, or how you engage your customer rather is going to ensure or help to ensure the delivery of your project, right? Because your customer is going to have certain requirements and you're going to need to understand these requirements. So you're going to need to spend time with the customer to understand this, and how you engage a customer during that time, how you pull out information, how you relate to the customer and what it is that they want, how you present yourself is going to be very, very important. And number 3, last but not least, the customer ultimately determines when your project is complete. So you can feel like you have done everything that needs to be done to deliver this project, but the customer doesn't feel that way because it's not working how they want it to work. It's not doing what they want to do, or maybe there's something missing. Whatever the case, this customer is going to pay you, and they're ultimately not going to pay you until they feel satisfied in the project that has been delivered. So they are ultimately going to make that decision, right? So that's 3. Those are the 3 really important things as to why it's important to consider how you engage a customer. 1, customer is most important. 2, the customer, engaging with them is going to ensure the project delivery success, right? And three, they're ultimately the person who decides whether or not the project is complete and has been delivered successfully. All right. So now that we've talked about why it's important to consider how you engage a customer, let's talk about some of the ways that you can best engage a customer. And a lot of them are pretty straightforward. But let's see if we can discuss some of them a little bit. All right. So one of the primary ways that you're going to engage your customer is going to be through site visits. Basically, this is you going to the customer's premises, and you're either going to be going with yourself, or you may be going with somebody else, or whatever the case may be. It's generally advised, like if you're a salesperson, or if you are, let's say, just a project manager, really, that's going in, take along somebody from the technical team with you when you go in, so that they can help you to understand fully the technical scope that's behind the project and stuff like that. That's really advised. Then you're really going to want to see and understand the customer's environment. And that's one of the important reasons of making site visits, because you need to be there to see what's going on in the environment, probably see what they have in place and how it is that they want to transition, to understand some of the problems that they're having with whatever it is that's there already, or what's not there that you're going to be accounting for with this solution that you're delivering, and how it will help them so that it can better inform your decision on how the steps that need to be taken within your project. Yeah, so site visit. It's super important. One of the most rudimentary ways to engage a customer is to actually just go there. Sit with them, talk to them, sit with their team, talk to their team, and get a full understanding of what's happening. But definitely, if you're not technical, take along somebody technical so that they can help you to understand the full scope that sits behind the requirements for the solution. So that was site visits. One of the next methods of communication is going to be something that we use all day, every day, everybody: phone calls. Very, very simple. You really need to follow up regularly with your customer by phone. Whenever it is that you are, even in setting up the project, you need to follow up with your customer to ensure that they're still on the path to this project, if it's still at the forefront of their mind, especially if there's been no sign off on a project yet and so on. But once a project is signed off and you're beginning, then you also need to follow up with the customer to give them updates as to what's happening. It may be impromptu updates. It may be the method of updating that you guys put in place. As we spoke about before, when we spoke about delivering the ICT project, basically setting your communication plan so that you know how you're going to update your customer and how you guys are going to communicate. But this is also the method that you can use to get information from your customer for whatever it is you need. If you hit a roadblock, or if you need more info, or whatsoever, this is one of the easiest ways to get information so that you can continue to work on this project or work on delivering the project for your customer. So our next method of communication is going to be emails. And everybody knows what emails do and how you communicate with emails. And this is like all three of these methods of communication, whether it be site visits or phone calls or emails, they're equally important, right? But there are some that you can gather more information from than others. Like in emails, one of the things that emails does is it gives you a record of the things that you discussed. And that's good both for the customer and for yourselves, because then you can have it recorded for your protection as well as the customers, as well as to have the information at hand necessarily so that you can refer to it at any other point in time if needed. Sending emails is also one of the primary methods of sharing information. So if you need design information, or if you need structural info, or whatever you may need from the customer, you can request that in an email and have them send it over to you. But you're establishing that communication there. So at least, that train is going and then the information is flowing. But these three methods overall are generally going to be your best ways of communicating with your customer. I mean, outside of that, you could do smoke signals, beat the drum, stuff like that. Okay, maybe not. All right, so we talk about methods that you can use to engage your customer. Let's talk a little bit about how often you should be engaging your customer. And the answer to that is really as often as is necessary. You want to keep the customer involved. And in keeping the customer involved, then you have to keep up the communication. And again, it goes back to what we spoke about, creating your communication plan in the first video. Like, it goes back to that, because you really want to keep your customer involved. Also, you want to make as little assumptions as possible when you are delivering your ICT solution, or you trying to complete your project. You definitely want to get the information firsthand, so that you are not making any assumptions. You're not getting third party information, which means you're at that point, you're very liable to do the wrong thing or make the wrong decisions. So you want to get information firsthand, which is another reason why it's important to be engaging the customer as much as is necessary. And also, in engaging the customer as much as is necessary, you're advising them of any possible roadblocks that might come up, like any possible issues that you might have or the project might have, so that they can make a decision from early on, or they can prepare for it, or you can find a solution more quickly, right? That's like going to be very, very important as well. All right, so the next item I want to talk about actually kind of more refers to customer relations, right? And this is really about being concerned about the customer. Because here's the thing, right? A lot of the times, persons, when they unearth a business opportunity, or salespersons, or whosoever, when they unearth a business opportunity within an environment, the opportunity is unearthed because the customer really puts it forward, not necessarily because the salesperson has a relationship with the customer and they speak to them, So if something comes up, if a need comes up, then the customer really puts it to them and say, hey, can you guys do this? Can you deliver this for us? A lot of the times that's not the case. It's more because the customer is on the hunt for somebody who can deliver something, and they go, oh, let's put this out. A lot of times customers send out RFPs or RFQs for different companies to bid on stuff. And that is how, a lot of companies end up getting business. But one of the things that's important when you are engaging with your customer, dealing with your customer, is to actually be concerned about the customer. And this can help you to unearth other opportunities that might exist aside from the opportunity that you are currently working on, as well as, build a relationship with a customer-client relationship with the customer. That may make them have you first on their mind going forward if something is to come up, right? But when you're showing concern for the customer, you're showing genuine interest, then also it shouldn't just be about, what you can get out of it, or you trying to really get another opportunity from this customer, but it really should be showing genuine interest. Don't just be concerned about the money or the business, but, be genuinely concerned about this customer and the welfare of their business and so on. Maybe provide opportunities for them as well. One hand wash the other, as we say in the Caribbean, right? That will definitely help you with your business, with winning business with the customer. Also, things like lunch and drinks and care packs, like, don't underestimate the value of those either. And then last but most definitely not least, is that you want to definitely listen to what the customer is saying. Like, a lot of times I've seen where customers are asking for one thing, but they're talking to their sales reps, and the sales rep isn't really listening, or they might have something new on their mind because they got some directive from their sales director that, oh, we need to sell this, solution, go out and push this to our customers, or whatsoever the case may be. And they come out with an agenda. So you're talking to a potential client, and this client is saying to you that, oh, we need X. And you're, as a sales rep, saying to them that, oh, Y would be a good solution for that. And it's not really. It really isn't. So you really need to listen to what the customer is saying. I did a training with VMware some point recently. I think it was a small training, like a VSP training for something. I don't remember what it was. But they had a video in there, something similar, like they were talking about the example was of this customer who came and was talking to his VMware rep that they needed something. I think it was in automation. And then the rep was talking about, oh yeah, the new vSphere client or new vSphere does this and blah blah blah, and it'll get you whatever. But the customer wasn't asking for vSphere. They already had a VMware environment. They were just asking for something with automation. I don't remember exactly what was in there, but it was like a prime example of what it is that I'm trying to get across right now. You need to listen to what the customer is actually asking for. Try and give them a solution that relates to their topic. And if you don't know, if you don't have all the information, then nothing is wrong with saying to the customer, hey, I'm not sure how we can deliver this, but I'm pretty sure we can. Let me talk to one of my technical guys, or let me talk to this team or whatever, get information and then get back to you. That's very acceptable. You know what I mean? And then you can probably push your agenda after that. But listen to the customer, like that's super important. And that's it. Engaging the customer and the things that you need to consider when doing that. That's basically it in a nutshell. They're like all of these topics there are a lot of things that are involved in it. Not just the stuff that I'm discussing, but these things that I discuss in our videos, really just the most important stuff to consider whenever it is that you're doing these things, so that you have the best relationship possible with your customer going forward, and that you can deliver what it is that they want as successfully as possible. But that's it. If you like content, please feel free to hit that like button, and please feel free to hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be putting out a lot more content, so subscribe for all the content that's to come, right? But once again, this has been Small Island Engineer. I'm Nate. Thanks for stopping by. Leave me a comment in the comment section for anything you might want us to discuss in future, or any questions or anything you want to talk about, really. And I'll see if I can get back to it as quickly as possible, right? All right, guys. Catch you next time. Peace.